Without further ado, allow me to introduce the panel speakers today. Right, we have Mr. Wing Yu Wong, the Board of Management of DECIX Malaysia and Singapore, Mr. Ivo Ivanov, CEO of DECIX International, and Mr. Jonathan Yambo, Senior Manager, Telegeography, who is also the author of the white paper. John will be presenting the key findings of the paper in a pre-recorded video, and he will join us live in a Q&A session later. We shall now begin the event proper. Let us all welcome Wing and Ivo for the welcome address. Wing, to you.
Hello everyone, selamat datang. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Thank you everybody for joining the debut of the DECIX event this year. We have been spending quite a lot of effort in preparing for this white paper launch. We started our work late last year with an aim to launch these white papers during April this year. Unfortunately, we have been hit by pandemic, so we have to delay the launch. So I'm very happy and excited that now able to launch the white papers. There will be some very interesting findings. I hope you will enjoy the rest of these presentations. Please ask any questions towards the end of these sessions. Now let me hand over the mic to you. Ivo, there you go.
Thank you, Wang, and good afternoon, Asia. Good morning, Europe, and a very, very early good morning, North America or Americas. Thank you all for joining, and allow me to give you a very brief introduction to what DECIX stands for as of today globally, before I hand over to John for telegeography. And believe me, he has put together a great summary of a very comprehensive study, so we'll enjoy a lot of interesting findings. So what does DECIX stand for as of today? Or in simple words, DECIX at a glance. As of today, DECIX operates the largest neutral interconnection ecosystem on the planet. We do operate internet exchanges and interconnection platforms in 25 different markets, big metros across the globe on 4 continents: North America, Europe, Middle East, India, and of course, already in Southeast Asia. Why it is the largest neutral interconnection ecosystem in the world? Because the DECIX internet exchanges and platforms are entirely data center and carrier neutral, entirely distributed. The access to the platforms around the globe is possible at more than 500 different data centers. And this is what more than 2,100 network operators from the entire globe do today. And they do interconnect heavily. The connected capacity of customers to the all DECIX platforms is more than 70 terabit of connected capacity. This is a huge amount of traffic, and this is just an illustration of the importance of this type of infrastructure globally. I mentioned neutrality, and this is what we believe is essential behind our success. Talking about neutrality, we believe this is the foundation for an open and very flexible, very broad interconnection environment. This is what we stay for on all markets, and this is what DECIX started to build up in Asia, in Southeast Asia, an entirely data center neutral open interconnection platform and exchange. Very highly performable, secure, resilient, and with a very open accessibility, diversity, and proximity to all different networks present in the region, because our approach is to increase dramatically the number of data centers where the DECIX services will be enabled in. Let me show you now a nice summary of a couple of examples, what type of networks are connected to the DECIX platforms worldwide. Discovering this slide, ladies and gentlemen, you will find out a lot of well-known logos, and this is absolutely right. The ecosystem of DECIX today consists of who is who of the internet and telecommunication business on the planet. As you can see on the left-hand side, examples of big, medium-sized, and also small operators, carriers, ISPs, but also cloud service providers content networks delivering the applications all we love and work with today. On the right-hand side, you will discover the logos of the famous car manufacturers, retailers, and others who do provide excellent logistics worldwide. And this is exactly what started to happen. We do see a strong interest by enterprises, by industry in general, getting involved in the infrastructure we do provide. Why is this the case? This is the case because not because of the COVID-19. This is the case in general because of digital transformation, which started to happen everywhere. What did COVID-19 create is an extreme acceleration of this process. When our lives literally went on pause globally, where we all got locked around the planet, we discovered as business makers and as individuals that digitalization helps us to provide further services to our customers, to run businesses, and to stay in touch with family and friends. We all understood how important digitalization is, and that the digitalization and the digital infrastructure behind digitalization became the most important factor for sustainable economic growth. Here are a couple of numbers summarizing the DECIX experience in this very challenging year. And you see a dramatic increase of usage on all different levels. Important is to understand that some applications referring to collaborative work, applications like the one we are using now, and others like Teams, Skype, Zoom, etc., cloud usage, but also applications which are important for our private lives, like entertainment, video streaming in general, or of course, gaming. They grew like hell on our platforms, 300%, 400% of increase, which led to the result that we at DECIX, we experienced a lot of world traffic record peaks. Just last week, we did the next one, the highest one on the planet, which was Frankfurt, 10 terabit plus on a single platform, without any interruptions, ladies and gentlemen. Globally, we are very proud of. Let me share with you what do we think this will mean for the future. Time have in common with crisis we have experienced, the civilization has experienced over the past 100 years. And you see here a couple of examples for huge crises like the current one we have to deal with. All these crises, they have one common thing. They have been over at one point of time. And after the crisis has been over, we have experienced, or the civilization has experienced, a boost of innovation, of growth, of acceleration, of speed, of economic growth, and creation of new opportunities for business, and probably new behavior in everybody's life. And this is what we believe will happen after the pandemic time is over. We predict a new digital era with a new interconnection model, which reflects into digital everywhere for everything and everyone. All of the applications you see listed on this slide, they stay for applications businesses and people use and will use even more heavily in the future. We need to make sure that the infrastructure behind these applications is in place and to serve these applications properly. What does this mean? Let us look at a couple of examples of applications related to the business world and to the private world. We see applications like virtual desktop applications, video conferencing, cloud, e-manufacturing, applications which are already in place and they develop and evolve extremely fast. The applications in our private lives like video, gaming, e-health, which becomes very popular for very good reasons. Connected mobility, interconnected cars, interconnected planes, etc. All these applications, ladies and gentlemen, they have one thing in common. They deserve the best infrastructure possible. Digital infrastructure, which delivers the highest performance possible, and this means particularly the lowest latency possible. Because if we talk about performance, the latency is one of the most important key factors. We see more than 65 milliseconds do not do the trick anymore. That's the max as of today already. And we see trends with super sensitive applications. They require 20 milliseconds and even lower. Applications like esports, live streaming, online gaming, virtual desktops for companies, e-manufacturing, which requires even lower than 5 milliseconds, down to 1 millisecond, which is valid, by the way, for security related and sensitive applications like the connected mobility applications. In terms of geography, we see that this trend requires the infrastructure operators to get as close as possible to the offices and to the users, to deploy data centers, to deploy interconnection platforms like ours, to be present with the cloud zones, to be present with the content on site and not deliver this out of Europe or the United States to Asia back and forth. This doesn't work anymore. Let me give you another perspective if it comes to the geography. Bringing these applications and content closer to the people in business will make sure that billions of people, they will enjoy better performance on applications in their offices, in their manufacturing facilities, and in their living rooms and homes. And if you see this from the Southeast Asian point of view, what does this mean? Just within 80 kilometers, there are a lot of hubs where multi-millions of people, they can enjoy better performance. We have spots in Southeast Asia where within 80 kilometers, there is a concentration of more than 6 million of people. We do have the entire region, if we count the radius of higher than 80 kilometers up to 5,500 kilometers, what we agree is the max of today, what we will reduce. We are talking of the needs of billions of people. Extremely important to understand this, that digitalization needs to arrive everywhere, digital infrastructure needs to arrive everywhere, as DECIX started doing this year back, and now being in Asia, we want to prove this with a very fast expansion, bringing interconnection services as close as possible to the billions of people in all Southeast Asian countries. In other words, the new trend is the latency becoming the new currency. Literally, we see that this is a business value behind telecommunication services. Having said this, I'm extremely happy now to hand over to our dear friend and a great expert, has been working for many, many years in the industry for telegeography, Mr. John Hambo, who will share with you the exciting findings of the white paper about new interconnection needs and interconnection hubs in Southeast Asia. John, the floor is yours.